Well, hey guys, welcome back. Super chilly at the homestead this morning. Beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, but it's cold. I'd say high 30s right now. Anyway, it's nice to have this pellet stove in the shop. It's warming things up in here pretty quick. So, excited about having that. Anyway, today, as promised, I'm going to take you through our winter vehicle kit. So, let's get to it. Okay guys, so as you know, Lisa and I live in the Pacific Northwest, which is known for experiencing a wide variety of weather conditions during the wintertime especially. We live on the southern coast of Oregon, which is primarily a rainforest, so the winters tend to be milder than other parts of the state. However, for this Christmas, Lisa and I are taking a trip up into Washington State. And we're going to a really cool town called Leavenworth, which is about 2.5 hours east of Seattle. And the cool thing about Leavenworth, if you haven't been there before, it's a Bavarian themed village style town. All of the architecture in the town, the downtown anyway, has to conform to this sort of Bavarian themed architecture. Lisa and I have never been to Leavenworth, so we're really excited about this trip. It is in the Cascade Mountains, and you know, the Cascades get a lot of snow during the wintertime, and Leavenworth in particular is known for getting multiple feet of snow during the winter. So to get there, we have to cross some passes in the Cascades, and that's going to be a condition that you know, will potentially face some serious snow. So we want to be prepared for that trip, and that's what this winter vehicle kit is all about. So Lisa and I are generally pretty risk averse when it comes to you know, travel in particular. We live rural, so you know, we don't necessarily have access to facilities that can provide emergency and urgent care easily. So we're real careful about, you know, when we go off into a remote area or explore new territory, year round our vehicles are prepared, you know, basically with first aid kits and so forth, you know, for emergency situations. So this winter kit really is about, you know, going into some areas that, you know, could potentially be problematic. And it's not so much that we might not be prepared for that, but oftentimes we may encounter someone else that wasn't prepared, and we want to be the Good Samaritan and you know, and help somebody that may need assistance. You know, if we encounter someone that has slid off a road on a snowy road, or you know, is just stranded at the side of the road, we're definitely going to stop and offer assistance to those folks. So this kit is largely you know, has to do with helping other people as well. So anyway, let's get right into it. Okay, so like I mentioned, you know, we do keep our vehicles prepared year-round with a lot of supplies. So some of the stuff is redundant, and I'll point out when we get into the kit what is redundant. All right, let's get into it. So right on top, a good pair of gloves, leather gloves. If you're in the snow or cold weather, your hands are going to get cold right away. Remember, your body automatically wants to keep the core warm, so your extremities energy is taken from there during cold weather and brought into your main part of your body. So need something to keep your hands warm. I have another pair of gloves a little deeper down in the kit, which are my snow gloves. They're actually ski gloves, but this would be for working, a good pair of leather gloves. Also, this is part of the redundancy, jumper cables. So, and not just inexpensive jumper cables. These are 20-foot long jumper cables. You know, with cars today, a lot of the modern cars in particular, it's not a matter of just pulling your car up, you know, hood to hood and connecting the jumper cables. Batteries are located all over vehicles in the modern vehicles, sometimes in the back, sometimes under seats, etc. Also, you may not have the opportunity to actually pull your vehicle up to, you know, the front of a vehicle that may need a jump. So 20-foot jumper cables are economical and good to have. So that's what we've got here. Also right on top, I've got a full raincoat and pants with reflectors. So again, if conditions are such that, you know, it's wet or snowing, raining, what have you, I've got protective rain gear. And that's a little bit redundant as well. We have ponchos in all of our vehicles for rain conditions as well. This is cat litter. So cat litter is very, very effective for getting out of slippery conditions. So let me just back up for a minute. On this trip that we're taking up to Leavenworth, we're going to be taking our other car, not the truck. This is only a two-wheel drive truck. And our other car, the SUV, is an all-wheel drive car. So we're going to be taking that car. And we also have chains for both vehicles. And so, you know, when you go over certain passes, you're required to, you know, to put chains on your tires. Even on I-5, which is the main interstate that runs up and down the west coast of the United States from Southern California to up through Washington, there's right at the California-Oregon border, there's a pass that's about 7,000 feet, 7,500 feet, if I recall correctly. And in the wintertime, more times than not, you are required to put chains on before you go over that pass. And that's on an interstate. So, and you know, if you've never put chains on your car before and you have them in your trunk, put the chains on at home so you know how they go on. Don't learn how to put chains on your car, on your tires, out, you know, in an emergency situation or in a snowy situation, because it can be a little tricky if you've never done it before. But anyway, if the chains aren't working, cat litter creates some awesome traction to get you out of, you know, slippery conditions. It's very effective. So that's what this is the cat litter. You can also deflate your tires if you have the ability to re-inflate them to, you know, 8 pounds or something. That gives more surface area, and you can oftentimes get out of a spinning or a stuck situation just by deflating your tires. But again, you have to have the means to be able to re-inflate them. Okay, roadside flares. So I've got a flare kit here of 6 different flares, and of course my vest. Nighttime, you want to be as visible as possible, particularly if you're on a winding mountain road, which most of them are. So, you know, somebody comes around a corner and there you are. If you're not properly lit up, it can be a real hazard. I also like these. These are 30-minute flares. These will make great fire starters, no matter what the condition. So, you know, you can put these up against, you know, wet brush, and that brush will ignite. So 6 flares, and of course my orange road vest. Okay, next up, I've got 2 good flashlights, both with the ability to hang, or this one has a magnet on it. This has a hanger on it, but also a magnet. So, you know, you can create a spotlight under the vehicle if you need to, or have actual, you know, beamed light. This is redundant. We also carry flashlights in the cab of our vehicles too. So that gives us 4 flashlights. And a bag of backup batteries, AA and AAA. So plenty of light, real important. Also, back to just, making yourself visible on the highway or on the road. These are pretty cool. They're flashers, they're emergency flashers. They can also give off different types of signals and so forth. And you can put these on the ground, ahead of a curve, perhaps, if you're not using the flares. They also have magnets, so they will stick to your vehicle. So those are nice to have. They also light up as flashlights. So I've got 3 of those. They're pretty inexpensive. You can find these at your local auto parts store. Here are my ski gloves I told you about. So again, if we're just in a waiting mode for some reason, and I have to be outside, or again, we encounter someone that's in need of help and they don't have the proper gear to be warm, I can lend these ski gloves, which are extremely warm. For Lisa and I, we're gonna, on this trip, of course, we're gonna have our packed luggage to go on the trip, and we're going into a cold environment, so there'll be plenty of warm clothing in that luggage as well that will be available. And then here's another, the roadside reflector. So again, you want to be as visible as you possibly can when you're parked on the side of the road, especially at night or in darker, snowy conditions. Okay, so as we get down into the kit here, I've got some more tools. This is a awesome steel foldable, actually it has a telescoping handle, spade shovel. Real important to get steel because you can, dig into anything. Dig away from tires, or you can use this for a lot of purpose. The plastic ones that I've seen, they just, they work okay, but they're not going to hold up. So I love this portable steel shovel. Also have a tarp, which, if I'm going to be under a vehicle to do whatever, put chains on, or remove something that got run over, what have you, I don't want to be laying on wet ground or in the snow, so I'll use this tarp. This can also serve as, another layer of thermal protection in the event it becomes a serious sort of a crisis emergency where, you just need to keep warm. Duct tape, baby. And I like the Gorilla brand. This stuff is bulletproof. You can tape up hoses, tape up something, tail light. You spin off on the side of the road, and you're able to drive away, but your tail light hit a tree and it's dangling. Duct tape comes in, handy for all kinds of situations. MacGyver. Then I also have, again, for being the Good Samaritan, is probably when this would come in handy, is a good tow rope. So this is a 15,000-pound tow rope. If I encounter someone, that's gone off the side of the road and they need to be pulled out of the ditch or what have you, this tow rope is what's going to do that. So we've got our winter tow rope. Tire repair kit, very important. In today's vehicles, I've mentioned in previous videos that Lisa and I like to buy older vehicles. The BMW X5 is 2013 vintage, so it's 10 years old. My truck here is a 2007, so it's 16 years old. They're easier to work on than modern vehicles. The vehicles that were built in the last 5 years or so. So at the same time, most vehicles that we're going to encounter, including our own, there's very limited work that you're going to be able to do or repair that you're going to be able to do on them in a roadside emergency condition. But tire repair is one of them. So this is a tire repair kit with the plugs, real easy to plug a tire. If you don't know how to do that, look up, there's tons of tire plug repair videos on YouTube. Check them out. I also carry a can of Fix-A-Flat for large tires. So the great thing about this is, you know, you can oftentimes make a tire repair without having to use this, but if it's available, if I can see where the puncture is, I will use this kit and then potentially use this as an inflator because these are great for emergency inflating. Okay, so let's keep going. I also carry a fire extinguisher. And this really is if we happen upon someone that's, you know, has an engine fire or whatever, some kind of fire going on. It's probably never going to happen, but it does occasionally happen. And it's nice to have this fire extinguisher to take care of that situation. So that is something that we both carry in each of our vehicles as well. This is an extra one. I mentioned that, you know, repair on modern vehicles is probably something that you're not going to do in a roadside emergency situation, but there may be instances where you need to, you know, tighten a screw and a hose or something. So I do carry a limited amount of tools, vice grips, a good set of pliers, and of course a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver. And then some needle nose pliers as well. That's really going to take care of the situation that I may need to address. One of the best tools that we both have for emergency roadside repairs is AAA membership. We've both been AAA members for most of our adult lives, and you know, I've used AAA many times in the past. My parents can tell you some great stories about that when I was in high school. But you know, it's almost anywhere that you can go. If you have a phone signal, you'll be able to contact AAA and ultimately be in good shape. So those are the tools. I also carry a fixed blade knife. This is my K-bar knife. You just never know what you know, what you're gonna need a knife for. So carry a good one. I also carry this Fisker foldable saw, as well as a hatchet. Again, when you're traveling in the mountains, especially in the wintertime, trees, you know, can come down across the road real easy. It happens around here all the time, up and down US 101. And so most of the folks carry chainsaws in the back of their trucks, and you know, they can easily remove that tree across the road. So I'm not going to be carrying a chainsaw, but I will have the hatchet as well as this folding saw in the event that we do need to, you know, cut away trees. All right, and then I have an extra ice scraper. For this trip, we'll be carrying this ice scraper and brush. Again, it's wintertime, so you need to be able to brush the ice and snow off your vehicle, but this is an extra one. And then finally, just some you know, extreme emergency supplies. So, you know, if for some reason we had to leave our vehicle and walk somewhere, I don't know why that would be the case, but if it was, I can pack this up. I have a hip pack that's already in the vehicle that contains a compass, some water purification tablets, paracord, fire starters, lighters, as well as flintstone starters, extra rain poncho, and extra thermo blanket. This is actually a thermo tent. It's a larger flat area. It was only a few extra dollars more than the blanket, but provides about twice the layering protection if you use it as a blanket rather than a tent, but it can be used as a tent as well for emergency shelter. Also very unlikely to ever need this, but I do have a jet stove as well as freeze-dried meals, 4 freeze-dried meals for the 2 of us. Again, it's highly unlikely, but if we're stranded somewhere, if we did go off the side of a mountain for heaven forbid, and we were stranded for a day or 2 down there, be nice to be able to cook up a meal. We've got a mess kit as well, but when I opened that up, it was messy, so it's back home in the dishwasher, but that'll go in this box also. And by the way, when we take off on this trip, we'll have extra water and extra food in the cabin. We don't pack the water into the emergency kit. Again, water will freeze depending on what container you keep it in. That container can burst and spoil parts of your kit. So that goes in the cab. We do bring emergency water and some emergency foodstuffs, protein bars, beef jerky, etc. This is just in the extreme unlikely event that we need to cook a couple of meals. And then I forgot the JB weld. This stuff, super handy. It'll bond anything. This is high heat JB weld, so I always carry that in my emergency kits. And then finally in the kit here is a 100% wool, formerly a Army blanket. It's a U.S. military issue. But Lisa and I, over the past 5 years or so, we've spent some time down in Arizona during the wintertime, and we have we were vendors at the Arizona Renaissance Festival, which is a festival that runs for 9 consecutive weekends during February, March, and first weekend in April, typically. And so we have to be in period costume during that time, and some of those mornings are very, very chilly. So Lisa acquired this blanket, all wool, and made it into a poncho that she was wearing on the chilly mornings at the Ren Fair. And so this is, 100% wool will keep you plenty warm in real cold conditions. And that's what this is for. So, and then I got 2 other items here that we carry all the time in both vehicles. One is a battery charger, power inverter, 12 volt battery charger, for charging cell phones or laptop computers or what have you. So we keep that in the car all the time. And then also we keep this, which is a air to pump air into tires. What do you call this thing? It's an air pump, and it's also 12 volt. So it's got a long cord on it, so it can plug into the 12 volt outlet, which the car we're taking actually has outlets in the back and front. And then we can move this around and inflate, a tire if we need to, in the event that this backup did not work. Okay guys, so some of you may be wondering about personal protection and first aid. Both Lisa and I equip our vehicles with personal protection in the event that we encounter a bad actor or wildlife for that matter that may present a threatening situation. So we are equipped with personal protection. Also, with regard to first aid, both vehicles, we do carry a couple of different types of first aid kits in our vehicles. They're basic. One thing that Lisa and I hope to do in 2024 is increase our level of first aid understanding. We really just have a very basic understanding of first aid, and that's something that we both recognize is a weakness. So we hope to learn more about a little more comprehensive first aid so that we can administer that should the need ever arise. But for now, we just have basic first aid kits that we carry all the time in both vehicles. Okay guys, so that is our winter vehicle kit. If you don't have a preparedness kit in your vehicle, it's something you may want to consider putting together. They're relatively inexpensive to put together, and hopefully the need never arises, but should it does feel a lot better having that prepared kit available in your vehicle. Thanks for joining me this week, you guys. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. That really helps out the channel. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.